I never thought I would end up in a twisted situation, but my name is Clara Thompson, and I am 30 years old, living in the bustling neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York. I have a small art studio where I create quirky and eclectic pieces of art that reflect my personality. People often say I have an eye for the unusual, and I thrive on expressing myself through my work. My friends describe me as creative, sassy, and independent. I love my life, spending time with my friends in cozy cafes and exploring the vibrant streets of my city, but recently everything changed. One Thursday morning, everything in my world shifted dramatically. I was getting ready for my art showcase when my phone rang. I checked the caller ID and saw a number I did not recognize, but something in my gut told me I should answer. When I did, a voice I could barely comprehend greeting me in fluent English introduced herself as an official from something called TRAI. She informed me that my personal phone number would be blocked within 2 hours due to alleged involvement in illegal activities. I was bewildered. Illegal activities? Me? I was an artist trying to make a name for myself, not a criminal. The panic rose within me as she said I needed to come to a police station in Antwerp to prove my innocence and save my number. The whole situation was absurd. Here I was, a girl in Brooklyn, being accused of something I had no connection to. But it was my phone number, and I could not afford to lose it, especially not with an upcoming exhibition. As I rushed to gather my things, my mind raced with confusion and anger. Who could possibly want to sabotage me like this? I shook off the doubts and grabbed my laptop, showing up for a video call with a supposed police officer. This man, whose face filled my laptop screen, was livid. He accused me of money laundering and threatened to ruin my life and my art career over something I had no clue about. The conversation dragged on for a full hour. The tone of the officer's voice was aggressive, and he repeatedly demanded to see my financial inventory. I felt trapped and embarrassed when he asked for my bank statement. I could barely afford rent, my bank statement showing a pitiful balance of just a couple of dollars. I sent it over, hoping it would prove my innocence. The moment I hit send, the connection dropped. When I replayed the call later, it sounded ridiculous. I could not help but laugh at how I had let this so-called police officer toy with my emotions. My friends could hardly believe it either when I shared my story with them at a cafe. To add salt to the wound, I uploaded my recording on Reddit just for kicks, and it became a sensation. Everyone seemed to enjoy my misfortune, and I laughed right along with them. But beneath my laughter, anger boiled. Why did this situation even occur? The more I thought about it, the more I realized it could not just be a random scam. Someone had orchestrated this entire nightmare. A sinking feeling overcame me. I had my suspicions about who was behind this. There was a rival artist in my neighborhood, Rachel, who had always aimed to undermine my career. She was cutthroat and envious of my talent. I grew to believe that she had masterminded the whole thing, hoping to ruin my credibility before the exhibition. Fueled by rage, I decided it was time to confront Rachel and expose her scheme. My first move was straightforward. I started documenting everything I could find. I turned into a digital detective, gathering information about Rachel's past, looking for any evidence of her involvement in my predicament. It felt thrilling in a way, almost like a game. But with each new piece of information I uncovered, I realized how deep the web of deception went. The first hurdle I faced was trying to get close to Rachel without raising her suspicions. I spent weeks pretending to browse art supplies at the local shop where she often shopped. During my visits, I became friendly with the staff, gathering intel about Rachel's recent projects. At first, it was exhausting, but the thrill of gathering the pieces together kept me going. I discovered that she had been in contact with an online group notorious for running scams. Next, I tried to confront her about her shady connections, but I was met with mockery. Rachel laughed off my accusations, playfully reminding me of my supposed financial failures. Each exchange only fueled my determination to succeed. I had to prove my innocence, but it felt as if every attempt made things worse. After one particularly heated argument at a gallery opening, I left feeling defeated. My heart sunk as I realized she genuinely believed she could outmaneuver me whenever she wanted. I had no choice but to dig deeper, striving to uncover more incriminating evidence against her. It consumed my thoughts. I spent nights honing my research skills, and finally, after a particularly frustrating week, I discovered a group chat she was part of online, sharing scandalous insights about local artists. It was as if the universe had finally smiled upon me. I began collecting screenshots and documenting the conversations while trying to maintain an air of normalcy around her. However, my plan hit a snag. One evening, as I scrolled through the messages, I was taken by surprise when Rachel confronted me, having caught a glimpse of my laptop screen. The look on her face was of sheer disbelief mixed with rage. She accused me of spying on her, claiming I was jealous and lacked any originality. I felt sick. This encounter could ruin everything. My heart raced as I tried to deflect her accusations, drawing on all the courage I could muster. It was becoming clear to me that if I wanted to win this battle, I needed to take a different approach. As things escalated, I decided to make one last-ditch effort to bring Rachel's twisted game to light. With mounting evidence against her, I set up a meeting with some influential artists and gallery owners in our community, inviting Rachel along as bait. If I could showcase the information I gathered during that meeting, I might expose her for the fraud she was. It was risky, but I felt I had no choice. I arranged for the meeting at a cafe close to my studio, choosing an intimate setting to encourage candid conversations. The day arrived, and the tension in my chest felt palpable. As we gathered around the small table, I was calm on the surface, but inside I was on fire. As Rachel entered, I noticed her confidence faltering as glances fell toward her. We exchanged polite smiles while I wondered how far she was willing to throw her mask of innocence. I launched the conversation into familiar territories, sprinkling in compliments about recent exhibitions. With each passing moment, I subtly planted the seeds of doubt about her character, recalling her past dealings others had hinted about. As the conversation deepened, I felt time slipping away. Rachel seemed to sense what I was doing, her eyes darting between the guests, and I was aware of her growing frustration. I took a deep breath, knowing the moment had come to lay it all out. I laid the evidence on the table like a deck of cards, presenting the proof of her deceitful actions and contacts. Gasps filled the air as I revealed each snippet of evidence, allowing the truth to unfold. Rachel's face went pale, and for the first time I saw fear flash across her eyes. The fallout was immediate. One by one, people voiced their doubts about Rachel, asking hard questions. I couldn't believe it was finally happening. After months of feeling powerless, I regained control. I felt my heart swell as the tide shifted. Rachel attempted to defend herself, but her words fell flat, drowned out by the mounting accusations. I felt both vindicated and relieved as friends rallied around me, supporting my claims. Rachel had sown the seeds of her own downfall. As the meeting ended and Rachel stormed out amidst the chaos, a weight lifted from my shoulders. I felt a mixture of exhilaration and disbelief. Had I really done it? In the days that followed, it felt surreal watching Rachel's reputation crumble as my own career began to gain momentum. Local blogs picked up on the story, and I found myself propelled into the spotlight I had always dreamed of, with newfound opportunities to showcase my art. In the aftermath, I learned a valuable lesson about standing up for myself. What had started as a humiliating experience became a triumph. I discovered strength I never knew existed within me. The Brooklyn art scene extended its arms, embracing me after the storm. I was ready for the next chapter of my life, painted with vibrant colors instead of the beige I had come to settle for. But amid my celebration, something unexpected happened. An anonymous message popped up on my phone, one that made my heart race again. Rachel had sent a mere 2 words, "This is not over." I felt a chill run through me as the realization settled in, but instead of fear, I felt invigorated. What I did have was the strength to face it head-on if she decided to come back. I had fought hard, battled my way through deception and betrayal, and survived. I would take on any challenge that lay ahead. No one could silence me, especially not Rachel. I was Clara Thompson, and I was finally ready to take back my power for good.